Today I'm going to talk about how much I earned from my first ever brand collaboration, my first ever sponsorship, all those years ago, because and also what was the product. Because I used to think brand collaborations were a waste of time. I was so busy focused on my blog, earning ad revenue, affiliate revenue, and I thought, oh, brand collaborations, they don't pay a lot of money. My friends, in 2024, because I put in the hard work and practice and learned a bit here and there about brand collaborations, there is a lot of money in brand collaborations and I think called sponsorships. Like just the other day, I was speaking to a brand, and I can earn $1,000 from an email. And for example, the other day, a brand asked for me to do some stories about travel, do some posts, and I was like, "How much?" And I was like, let me just dig some wax out of my ear. How much? And obviously, I acted like it was totally. I wasn't surprised. Here's a quick tip: if a brand pitches a price to you, and it sounds so astronomically high that you nearly faint, just lift your eyebrow and nod. Don't look surprised. Don't say, "Oh my god, that's so amazing." Don't do that. Don't do that. You got to play it cool, okay? Play it cool. So if a brand throws a real high price at you, just lift your eyebrow up, smile and say, "That's interesting." Don't give it away because listen, you worked hard. You may not realize your worth. If a brand wants to pay you what you're worth, hey, take it. Roll with it. Okay? Okay, so let's get started. What I'm going to do, the format of this video, thanks for watching, by the way, is I'm going to talk about the sponsorship that I earned my first collaboration, and then I'm actually going to give you some tips on how you can get started and how you can earn more. And then I'm going to try and share my screen. I haven't really created a video where I shared my screen yet. So listen, there's a first for everything. So let's give it a go. Be patient with me. So my first brand collaboration, don't laugh, okay? Because if you follow my Instagram, you'll know I don't really care too much about skincare or makeup, but it was actually a makeup product. So what happened was, I think I had around 1,000 followers on Instagram, and it was a hot mess. It's still my Instagram still is a hot mess. It's all over the place. There's no theme, but it's very authentic. And I would share about my travels. I share about my family. I'd share about drinking water, and I had a really good connection with my audience. I still do. And what happened was, because I was continuously sharing content and on my Instagram, and it's called lifestyle content, living. Um, and people would comment and I would reply to the DMs and I had a really good engagement with my community. I must have come up in the algorithm, don't know how, because of the engagement. And they saw my content and they liked that it was very authentic. That was their word. They said it's very authentic and relatable. And so they wanted me to test their makeup and talk about it. And you're gonna laugh, okay? Because I had no idea. I had never done a brand collaboration. I didn't know what to charge, and they paid me $100. Okay, now don't roll your eyes. Just bear with me. $100 to a lot of people is not much. Now, with the benefit of hindsight, that was not much money. I should have charged more. But hey, listen, we got to start somewhere. We have to build our skills and learn how to navigate this kind of online business with working with brands. We've got to start somewhere. You need to have proof of your portfolio. So I thought, listen, I want to show other brands that I've worked with this brand. So hey, $100 and free product, I'll take it. And so what I did was I made it very authentic, and I talked about the brand, and I actually asked questions about what are the ingredients, what is your unique selling point. And I think the unique selling point is it had like, oh, it smelled really nice. That's for one, and it had really like natural ingredients. I actually quite like the brand. And I talked about that with authenticity, and they really liked it, and they paid me $100. And the way they found me was because I consistently showed real content on my Instagram, and it was lifestyle content, helping people become the better version of themselves. And it was real content which they liked. And so now you're going to say, okay, well, how does that relate to me? How can I, knowing this knowledge, Aisha, that you charge $100 for a makeup brand for an Instagram, what's that Instagram post or video? I think it was an Instagram video. How does that benefit you? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share 4 tips that you can implement right now to get your first sponsorship. Okay. Number 1. Okay, write this down. Number 1, whenever you collaborate with a brand, actually, in the second tip, my third tip, I'm going to share how to find these brands. But let's just say you did what I did. You're a bit clueless. You start posting content, and then someone approaches you, and they say, "We'd like to collaborate." The first thing you need to say is ask them, what do you want to achieve? Do you want to gain exposure? Do you want people to click on sometimes brands, when they have a new product, they just want more people to see the product, not necessarily click. Click is a benefit, right? Some people, they want conversion. Some people, they want more awareness. And what do they want people to be aware of? Because there's, for example, for this brand, the makeup brand that I worked with, they wanted people to know. Did I just spit? Sorry, guys. They wanted people to know that they had organic, chemical-free ingredients. That was their USP, and so they wanted me to focus on that and target an audience that was interested in that. So you got to ask them. So when I collaborate with brands, like for example, there was this really cool laundry. When you go hiking, maybe you might not know this. When you go hiking, you want to wash your clothes. You know, if you go hiking for a few days, you stank. You really smell. So you can actually wash your clothes, but there's this device called actually no. I'm not going to tell you the brand because they should pay me again. But there's the device where you can wash your clothes in this device, and it acts like a little mini washing machine, right? So who are their target audience? Adventurers, people that like to backpack, people that like to hike often. So ask them, what is it that you want to achieve out of this? Who is the target audience? What is your... Oh, by the way, this is my cat, if you want to see her. This is Sandy. Say hi, Sandy. This is my little creature. So number 1 is always ask, who do you want to reach out? Like, who do you want to connect with, and what do you want to achieve out of this? What action do you want them to take? One, that shows that you care. 2, you can tailor your content. That's number 1. Number two, actually, I'm going to share my screen. I don't know if I can do this, but let me try and share my screen and then show you exactly tip number 2. Tip number 2 is, I want you all to create a media kit. Admittedly, I haven't done this, and I know for a fact, this is on my priority list, I know for a fact I would earn so much more from collaborations if I had a media kit, because every single day I get an email from a brand saying, can we see your media kit? And I don't have it for them, and I have to email them my stats. If you have a media kit, bap, 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 boom, boom, you can just send it across to them, okay? So, and you're like, well, what's that? How do I create a media kit? Guys and girls, you can just go to Canva, okay? Canva's amazing. Can you see my screen? Go to Canva and type in, hang on, it says this tab is not being recorded. Why is it not being recorded? Give me a second. Oh, what I would do is go into Canva and type in media kit or media kit for influencers. And what you will see is a media kit, and it will just tell you what to put your stats. So you put your name, your picture, put your demographic, put your traffic, could be I would generally put I would put my traffic. Anyway, if you're just on Instagram, put that. If you're just on blog, put that. So basically, pull together any one of these media kits and put your information. They want to see demographic. They want to see your reach. And somebody who I really like, he's a friend of mine. Okay, he's a really cool dude. Is a brother abroad. Go check out his blog. Go read his content. He's genuinely such a nice dude. I've met him in person. I really like his partner. She's cool. They're just all round lovely people. Okay, so he's a travel blogger, and I want to share his blog because he's awesome. And I would recommend go to his media kit and just see what he does. Okay, so this for me is what good looks like. But he's got such cool content, all about digital nomadism. So check out his media kit and see how he structures his media kit. Subscribe to his newsletter also. It's very cool. And if we look here, he talks about the blog, and then he talks about the traffic, talks about demographic and whatnot. Keep it simple, okay? Keep it really simple. So that's what I would do. That's what was that? Tip number 2: create a media kit. Okay. So tip number 3 is I would also recommend. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'll share tip number 3. No, tip number 3 is I would go to look for collaborations on this platform called valuedvoice.com and hypetap.com. I'm not entirely sure if you can see my screen. If you can't see my screen, I'm really sorry. Oh, it says this tab is not being recorded. Give me a second. Okay, here we are. So if we look here, we can see valuedvoice.com, the content creator platform that pays. All right, I like the sound of that. Pay me the money. So I would sign up to these platforms and just, even if you don't have a big audience, I'm sure there are brands out there that want people. They don't necessarily care too much about big audiences. They want a targeted audience. Okay. So one is valuedvoice.com, another is hypetap.com. Sign up to these platforms and just apply, and then you can understand what brands are looking for. You can understand the kind of traffic they're looking for. Listen, we need to dip our toes in the water and just start, okay? And you can find out what you need and what you don't need. And so that's what I believe in, just start to create content, apply to these platforms, get a media kit. And then I have two more tips. When I have two more tips, hopefully they'll find me useful. Tip number four, if you want to start earning money from collaborations and sponsorships, is I really think the more platforms you have, the better. Okay. I'm not saying you should burn yourself out and spend all the time on social media and blogging, whatnot. I think that give yourself more leverage. Okay. And when I say that, it means when a brand approaches me and they say, what's your price? I'm like, well, I have a blog, I have an email community, I have a strong engaged Instagram community. I have a Pinterest account. If you can layer your channels, I have a YouTube channel now, you are able to have more leverage and you are in a much better position to negotiate. So start with one platform, yes. So maybe you want to start on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, but see if you can connect an email list with them, or if you can connect. If you have a blog, great. That's a huge asset. Okay, mention that. Don't think just because you have a blog and you have 2 blog posts. Trust me, I was able to get free accommodation in Ireland when my blog was just launched. I didn't even have a blog post. I just had a blog set up, and this accommodation was like, well, we'd like to be featured. So just know that, don't think because you have one piece of content, one post, it all counts. These are your channels, these are your assets. Okay, so I do definitely think having more platforms and channels gives you more leverage, and you should leverage on it. Okay, finally, I would recommend when you are negotiating, if someone asks you what your price is, I would package it and ask them, well, first of all, ask them what they want. What is it they want? I try to package it into 3, right? If, for example, let's say they just want Instagram, you can say, okay, so 2 posts is this much, but I can do 5 posts and a reel, and it's this much, the middle price. And then the final one, you can say I can do 10 posts, 2 reels, and it's really expensive. So make the first one cheap and really not much, like say 1 post for x amount, 1 post for $100, I don't know. Middle post, and then for a fair price, maybe they get 5 posts and a reel for $500, and then make the last one really unreasonable. 10 posts for $10,000. I don't know. Excuse me. But basically, you want them to be like, oh, it's a no-brainer. We'll go for the middle one. Sell the middle package. And so this is where leverage and having different platforms really helps me. So let's say a brand has come to me and says, oh, how much is it for a blog post? I say, well, for a blog post, it's this much. But if I can actually share your blog post to my Instagram community, to my email list, and it's this much, or I can create a reel and you can have 5 blog posts for this much. And normally, always, they will go for the middle one. Package it, give them choices, and make sure the middle choice makes sense. Okay. And I really think by giving them choices, you increase the possibility of them going for the middle package, because they're like, well, instead of just the answer is yes or no and one option, you're giving them options because they might need that option. And actually, I've got a final tip. Actually, this is a really good tip that's really helped me, whether it comes to freelance work or collaborations. Make sure you treat them like humans and really just treat them well and go above and beyond, because then you might lead to long-term collaborations. This happened to me when it came to freelance work in the past, when I was a freelancer, and now when I'm collaborating with brands. They are humans. They're busy. They want good people to work with, right? They want to get their brand name out there. Go above and beyond and really do the best you can, and give them follow up, give them statistics. Don't wait for them to ask you, well, how did it go? How did the campaign go? Here's how the campaign went. Here are the stats. Here are the replies. Here's engagement. Share that with them and show them that you care. And what happens is you do that a few times. I find that they have longer term, like I've been approached for longer term collaborations now, which is great because then you don't have to keep on negotiating. You sign up a 6-month contract. Listen, the money is the recurring income sound is the sound of sound to my ears. It sounds of like beauty to my ears. I love recurring cash flow. Okay, you don't need to stress. Money comes in, and you know that you're definitely getting that contract. Okay, so go above and beyond. Treat them like humans. Get the name out there. Genuinely recommend it to your audience, and you will notice that they will want to work with you again. Okay, so I hope that's helped you. Let's summarize the tips. Number one, ask them what they want to achieve. What is their unique selling point? Number two, create a media kit. You can get that on for free on Canva. Number three, build on go to those two HypeTap and Valid Voice platforms and go find out brands to collaborate with. That's number three. Number four, try and build more platforms, more assets that you can use leverage with. And number five, be professional. Now don't be I don't want to swear. Don't be a butthole, okay? Because if you're professional and you really want to help them and work with them and genuinely collaborate, they'll want to work with you again, and you get that sweet recurring income that works for you and the brand. Thanks for listening. If you want other topics on blogging and how to make money blogging, drop in a comment. If you found this useful, always happy to share as much as I can. Thanks for watching.